Hello and welcome to Manly 16-foot skiff club's Heat 3 of their club championship for the season 23-24. I'm James Beery, and joining me in commentary today we've got Robert Napper and another bloke that we all know, James Doran. Doz, welcome. Robbie, welcome back.
Thanks for having me. Good to be back.
Thanks, guys. It's good to be here, Jimmy.
So, get the old band back together, but we're in for a bit of a treat today. We've got the Flying 11 state titles hosted by the Manly 16-foot skiff club, which you can see there on screen, so we'll keep an eye on them. They're the future of 16-foot skiff sailors, we hope. A lot of time and effort invested into the Flying 11s. Doz, you managed to jag a win in them as well.
Yeah, I came up through the Sabos and then progressed into the Flying 11s, and really as a junior they were a great class to be a part of. Good friendships made, and had some really good coaching in those years growing up, and put me in a good spot to progress then into the skiffs. And yeah, you know, some great sailors have come out of there, and it's great to see all those young and up and comers out there today. It's wonderful to see.
And Robbie, young Ash, he's the last one of the Napper clan left in the 11s.
He is, yep. Just got underway in the second heat now of their state championships. So he had a bit of a rough first race, had a big swim, managed to fight his way back. But it's really good to see some strength in numbers. I think we've got 49 boats in this state championship fleet that everyone's watching right now.
That's pretty impressive, isn't it? Like, you know, I know back when, believe it or not, I actually fitted in one of those things.
many years ago.
Many years ago. Well, I was pretty lucky. I had the world's smallest skipper in Lee Napton. So, yeah, we often go up to the presentation at the end of the day and everyone will go, oh, well done, Lee, to go shake my hand and go, no, that one's Lee. But yeah, like, you know, you got the likes of Lee Napton came through these, the Turner brothers.
Nathan Outridge.
Scotty Babbage, yeah.
Wilmots. Yeah.
So yeah, good young class and very, very competitive class. But so
and they provided about, I think, 75% maybe of our senior sailors have come through Flying 11s. So it's been a great pathway class for Manly. Continues to be.
Yeah, well, back in the day when we didn't have the 13s to progress through, or Doz did, but you know, we were chucked in as fourth hands in the 16s to sort of cut our teeth, and then we grew up and became big boys and sailed three up. But so talking about the 16s, as I said, Heat 3 got a very narrow leader in sail racing. Felix and the boys have done a pretty amazing job on day one. They had there's the overall results up on the screen there. So you got sail racing, followed by Image Signage, Sutek, Red Pumps, Cunningham's, IME, Botany Access, and then in 8th, Moon and Yachts. Ruffy had an absolute day to forget. Doz, he
swam at both top marks, I think, both races. First time around the top mark, very hard to come back from there.
Yeah. Sorry to hear about that, Ruff. I wasn't watching, mate. I don't tune in every weekend, but yeah, it's pretty hard when you get around the top mark and sink it. You know, it's hard to come back from that.
You never did that to us anyway, Doz, did you?
Can't remember the times that I've done that, but I'm sure there's been one or two. No, I had a good weight at the back of the boat to keep the nose up on most powerways, so I can't recall ever pitching the boat at the top mark with you on the back.
No, mate, no, it was safe there. So, and then the 13-foot skiffs, I think we've got that's pretty tight as well. I can't remember who's in the lead of the 13s, but by memory,
doesn't really matter at the moment anyway. It's such early days in the series. It's gonna be mixed up.
Harkin is leading. So
one, they'll have a fill-in skipper today because Heidi Bates, who normally drives that, is steering her Flying 11 in this state championship, and she just picked up a third in the first heat. So I'm not sure who Orlando's managed to get on today, but I did see them ringing up. Oh yeah, Orlando's back, and I did see the boat in the park, so I assume it was going out. But as of last night, he hadn't found a fill-in.
But that's incredible. Like she's involved with the 13s and still at the top of the division with the 11s. Like I only ever sort of progressed 11s, 13s. I never sort of switched in between. So the fact that she's already sort of jumping across at her early years, she's going to be a wonderful up and comer, I'm sure.
Absolutely.
So just looking out here, Jimmy, like the breeze is up around 20 knots already, and it's only sort of midday. I mean, there's going to be a lot of action out here from just what we're seeing here, just boats sitting around, and the 13s and the 16s and the 11s. There's plenty going on. People tipping in. There's big roundups. There's lots happening on the water.
Yeah, mate. It's luckily the tide's turned to run in, so that'll take a little bit of the lump out, and I think you'll find we might see by the end of the day probably 23, 24 constant with a few little fresh lines in between. Definitely a comfortable number 2 rig day.
Yeah, I don't think we'll see any big rigs out here.
Be a brave person to put a big rig on.
And Jimmy, Rob, I've been out of it for a few years now with the 16s, but what's sort of changed? I see all these 3DIs with Norths involved, and I mean, I was back around when we had the old alloy rigs, and I think they've all now gone carbon. And I mean, what's changed since I've been around?
Yeah, probably the carbon rigs, carbon poles, carbon booms, all the spars. So we've lightened everything up a bit. There's obviously been a lot of development with the sail technology, but to be honest, you'll have a look and see the profiles of some of these mains, the SKE compared to some of the true flow rigs. They look very different, but at the end of the day, they're all going pretty much the same speed still, which has really been the beauty of this class.
Yep, and and today we're obviously with Manly hosting the Flying 11 state titles. Middle Harbour Skiff Club has kindly reached out the olive branch to Manly for the 16s and 13s from Manly to join the Middle Harbour guys for the day, guys and girls. So that's it's a real busy little part of the harbour for today. There's as Rob alluded to, there's nearly almost 50 Flying 11s out here. We'll probably have close to 40-ish, thereabouts, 16-foot skiffs, and around the 20 mark of 13-foot skiffs. There's also another regatta on in the Sound, which is where we traditionally race, which is the lasers. Have the Battle of the Sound with something like 70 lasers out here. And then you've got Middle Harbour Yacht Club's also out here having sprints in the middle of the Sound because they didn't want to do a offshore race. So there's plenty going on, and I think it's a day to keep your eyes out of the boat. Doz, you were really good at keeping your eyes out of the boat.
Watching the leader in the Fly 11s go around the drive mark, and looked like he put in a really nice drive and just heated up a bit too late out of the drive and just went straight in. So yeah, technical boats, the Fly 11s, and it was easy to put them in, that's for sure. What's your young class?
With all this traffic, Doz, are you off the start line? Are you thinking try and just steer clear of the traffic, or we're just going to go and apologise to everyone like we used to when us three sailed together?
It was never our intention, Bureau, to get involved with other boats, but yeah, look, I think Manly's a really different track compared to the 18s. The 18s got a lot more ferry, a lot more boat traffic, a lot more harbour traffic to contend with. The Manly's a little bit more of a quieter track overall. But today's a bit of an exception. You've got yachts, you've got the Fly 11 division, you've got 13s, you've got extra 16s on the start line with the Middle Harbour fleet. I always try to keep it quite simple out of the first couple of tacks. You want to get out of the start, try and have a lane to tack, or if not, try and get yourself set up to then tack back into Dobroyd Head there. I was always a big sort of believer working up that headland and then ducking across to the sort of toilet rollover at Manly and then working the right-hand side. But yeah, just trying to get out of the blocks, get your legs going, and try and sort of get on a good tack on port, and that sort of sets your race up. It doesn't sort of get you across the line because there's a lot of sort of overtaking lanes on this northeast track, but it definitely sort of gets you in a position to hopefully sort of be in the top few around the top, and then you can sort of reassess your game plan and start chipping away a bit more through the boats throughout the second part of the track.
With this breeze, who are you liking, Robbie?
The Moonen's carrying some pretty good form in after last week. They've got a pretty nice weight distribution on that boat now, and they are sailing pretty well. Have we got Brett back on the Imagine signage today?
I think I saw Big Bretto on. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they'll definitely give it a nudge. Have we seen Sal Racing out here yet? I think they will. They're obviously carrying some good form from the first week. Those guys don't tend to do a lot of sailing. They just turn up for the championships now, and they always seem to be on. So, here we go. Word in, Harry West.
Harry West is steering the Sal Racing.
He's pretty handy.
I did tune in last week, Jimmy and Rob. The SKE boys, they had a really good. Was it the Port
Jackson?
Port Jackson.
Yeah.
So I watched the latter part. And you boys would give me a hard time that I used to pack up the boat early and head off. But watching those guys,
it wasn't a lie.
No, it wasn't. I'm not saying it was, but it was great to see a young guy on the back with old Nico's young fella, and mate, they were making really good inroads up that last work to the finish. So I wouldn't count those guys out. They seem to be quick upwind. It'll be interesting to see how they're placed in the mix, in the first part of the race. Yeah,
well, they backed up from that Port Jackson Championship, and I'm pretty sure they went out and won the Port Hunter regatta up in Newcastle maybe last week or the week before as well. So Banjo's finding his feet in that boat, and he's getting very comfortable with the two guys he's sailing with in Scott and Joel. He's got a big, physical, a very capable crew. They're going to... I expect them to put on a pretty good show come the Nationals.
Well, I caught up with Scotty a couple of weeks ago at Jamie Woods' engagement up at Newcastle, and he sort of, was talking about young Banjo, saying that he was, a good up-and-comer and somewhat like maybe us at the start. I just joined you guys, an established crew, which Banjo's done, and already doing some great stuff. So I hope that that continues for them, and today will be a good test for them.
So for the viewers, as Doz just alluded to, SKE Electrical from Belmont has come and joined us for the day. So always welcome.
Cunningham's on screen.
Big Paulie McKenzie.
I've left them off my list, didn't I? That was probably silly of me. I know they've been down at Baz's this morning getting that second rig tuned up as well, so they could certainly give it a nudge this afternoon. They've got plenty of horsepower.
Especially with the tune-up from Baz. We love them. Love the banter when you go and see Baz too.
When did you ever come with us, Doz? It was always me and Napa. But, so in the 13s, Robbie, I know you've been working very hard on a Friday evening with all the likes of, Phil Harmer was down there yesterday. You've had Matty Stenter.
Yep.
All the gurus.
Yeah, had quite a few guys. Had Dolly down last night as well. Actually, which was quite nice of him to make an appearance and give us a hand. But yeah, we've had a very good range of the 16 guys and girls coming down to lend a hand and use their experience to help get these 13s improving not only their boat handling, but a lot of the real race strategy and little boat-on-boat tactics. So the guys that have been coming out seem to be improving, and I'm expecting to see this the training grow as we get closer to the Nationals.
That little boat there on the right of screen, Ebix, they've been out twice this week.
Yep.
Gemma and
James.
James, the brother.
Yep, Hoppo. We had them out last night. They were sailing very nicely. Really working on the finer points now, catching the waves, really working for height, going upwind and soaking their depth downwind. Will be good to see them put it into practice today.
I was just saying, I'll clean out their arch nemesis back in the day. He's out there still plugging away, which is good to see. He was a formidable competitor in the Manly days where we were sailing, wasn't he, boys?
Yep, absolutely.
Great sailor.
I think he's just having more fun now, Doz, with Phil and Berkey.
Yeah,
and Dave Burkett.
I'm not out there for him to beat up on me anymore.
Everyone loved you, Doz.
I loved everyone too, Jimmy.
There's the employment era, the young boys with...
They got Nath Lilly on the back today.
Yeah, I was going to say change the skipper there, but looks of it.
Saw him in the club when we were getting the Flying 11s sorted out, so he was looking forward to it, but they're going to be lacking a little bit of weight today, I think.
The Harkin just went past us, and with Jess Isles steering it on the 13-foot skiffs.
Well, she's been helping out too. I haven't had her in any of the trainings yet, but she's done a couple of nice fill-in rolls on a Saturday, so it's been good.
There's our 5 minutes have just popped up. They've changed the start flags too since you were probably last sailing them, Doz.
Yeah, they've changed a little bit. I wouldn't know. I didn't know what they were doing back then. So if they've changed,
Makes no difference
makes
now,
no
does
difference.
it?
Well, I don't.
That was a proper stitch up. I had no idea.
That was your job, Rob. Just hit the clock, and I've got some idea.
Yeah.
I just saw Cookie go past.
Yep.
Great family of the 16s. Great to see Huey's name out on the rescue boat as well.
Yep.
But the Cookie boys have obviously great sailors, and actually I got my first gong with, I think Cookie put me on to a 16, and I had Big Sven swinging it down in a not too dissimilar nor'easter, and then Brent Dennis on the bow, and you know, we had a good competitive second, our first run on that boat. So yeah, great family, the Cooks, and wishing them all the best.
That's a great shot there from the drone. Look at all the action on the harbour. So that's 3 big fleets. Can't see too many of the 16s, but you've got a lot of Flying 11s and a big fleet of the Ilka 7s out here today.
Yeah, plenty on, isn't it?
Yep. Busy end of the harbour.
So today we're actually, as I said, we're racing with Middle Harbour 16-foot Skiff Club. Pete Timworth has kindly extended the olive branch. We do a lot together between Manly and Middle Harbour, and so the course for today is a nor'east course, which is, we're starting just here sort of off Grotto Point, which is where we'd normally start as well, work up to their top mark, which is sort of in line with Reef Beach thereabouts, run back down to the YA mark at Balmoral. They're doing that 3 times, and then the last time they just do a little short work back up to just off the naval base, and then that'll give the Manly guys a bit more of a learning lesson on upwind sailing to get home from down there in best part of 24, 25 knots.
Starboard course as well, which I'm hoping it doesn't catch too many of them out at the top mark, but it's going to be very interesting if we see someone take that to port and go head-to-head with the fleet.
Well, remember we had that with Craig Nichols on the Typhoon at Balmoral that time.
Yep.
It was like, you're like, no, look, I can't exactly what you said, but...
We'll do the edited version.
Yeah, there'll be plenty of beeps in it, but yeah, we exchanged pleasantries with Craig Nichols one day when that all sort of happened to us, but not to worry, not long to go now, just over 2 minutes 15 till we're underway here with the 16-foot skiffs, and the 13-foot skiffs will start. Tinny's trying to push them out as quickly as possible as well. The Flying 11s, they're just on there. They do, I think, they still do a triangle, hot dog triangle or something along those lines, don't they, Rob?
Yep.
So they're just on their hot dog leg
now.
he's the new presidential bait for Manly 16-foot skiff club just coming through. The Rolfie's entourage just there.
Quietly happening. It's doing it now, not in 2 minutes' time.
Exactly.
Because it would be causing absolute chaos.
The mighty YOLO. You only live once. Now, Bureau, we've got a bit of breeze on, but we've had some pretty strong nor'easters back in our day. I remember, a few weeks out from a nationals, we came out training, and it was an absolute black nor'easter. And I think we got out and were a bit overzealous. I think we got to about Dobroyd and said, "Oh, hey boys, I think we knocked it off here." We had plenty on.
Yeah, I think the international 14s were setting up that day for a regatta, weren't they? We did. We got to the bombies, and I just pulled it down. Said, "We're not hanging out here, boys.
No, that's
we want
right.
to keep this boat in one piece. We're going to go home."
So not quite as fresh as that, but it's a good 20, 22, 23 in the gusts here today. So these crews have got their work cut out. That's for sure.
Inside the final minute now.
There's the red pumps with Zoe Dransfield steering while her brother is over in Bali having a bit of a schoolies surfing trip.
We got a red pumps red looking for a port hander down the other end of the line. They're all stood pretty well off here. It's Matt Triglane's on the red pump red today too. Oh, no, they're in all sorts there.
Looks like it's going to be a clear start from the look of things. Red pumps down the end, maybe over. Yeah, he's over. Yeah, he's got to go back. Red pumps with the dot, he's over, but otherwise all clear.
I think they've given him the all clear though.
Oh, good old Manly 16s. Must be a little handshake under the table on that one. Now, Elamy's a little bit late here. Old Treno, he wouldn't be happy.
No, they're probably not in a bad spot on that line. At least they've got a clean lane.
Yeah, but he's thrown a good 50, 100 metres away, and on a good nor'east track, it's you don't want to be throwing or giving any of your competitors a head start in this course.
No. I think the Fluids won that start probably. They've come out pretty nicely. The guys down to leeward of him are just starting to lift around his bow now. The Moonin, and we got the Eric Storage Middle Harbour's top boat. Nathan Edwards. I've got a feeling Scott Cotton's steering that today. I'm
Yeah,
not sure
Scott Cotton he's on there full time.
He's on there all time, full time.
With Alex.
Okay, it's good to see him back in Skiffs. He was a very good 13 sailor. I'm not sure how much time he's done in the 16s.
We're both keeping a loose eye on the Middle Harbour fleet when we've been out here, like whether we're filming doing the live stream or we're out here doing photos each week, and they haven't had it all their own way, but they're starting to click together as a team, and you can really see that as the season progresses, and they just need a little bit of competition, which is great that the two clubs can combine today and do this.
Now, getting close to the Dobby heads here, Jimmy, you don't want to be pushing too much further. It's almost like the Bradley's Head Bermuda Triangle. You push too far, you can get a bit header and then fall in. But I think Ruffy's tacked quite well there. He's on a good line. If he just ducks Cunningham's here, he's got a good clear lane. So we'll just see how he's placed here. But Cunningham's looks like they're going to be leading the race here.
They have just put the hammer down there.
Oh, Paulie on the back, eh?
Yeah, but how long will Paulie last?
We'll see. He'll get him to the top mark in good shape, and we'll see how many more works he's got in him after that.
Here he goes.
They're on the face of a really nice line there too, where they put that.
Yeah.
And that's the option you've got when you're in front.
Great positioning there by them. There's the old fire truck too in the mix. That was a great ship.
Another great drone shot there.
The Eric Storage has got a good bit of pace there. He's skittled away pretty well off the line and mixing it there with Moonin quite well, in my view.
He's got some gauge off Moonin there too.
Nice.
So
that's the thing. I feel like sometimes tacking out early here, you can sort of lift back up out in front of people as you get out to the middle of the harbour, and these guys up high, they can sort of be in a bit of fickled wind and they start dropping back down into them. So it'll be interesting to see how Cunningham holds their line across here.
Yeah, I think Cunningham's does. They're sort of just, obviously new combination. They had Alex Chittenham in the middle last year, and they were pretty electric, and just trying to get that crew combination right with Paulie McKenzie jumping in the on the sheet. This sort of weather Paul loves, as we all know. Just big unit, just leans back and pulls strings harder and harder.
A bit like you, mate.
Well, I'd run out of puff by here anyway, Doz. You know that. You blokes had to carry me.
You were good when it was top end big rig and top end little rig.
I had no choice.
And Robbie, you've had a bit of an injury this year, and you're coming good, I hear.
Yeah, working hard to get back on the water. I'm not sure quite when that's going to be yet, but everything's going as well as could be expected.
So what's the program for you? You plan to get back on Ivy, or
I will be at some point. Just not sure quite when that's going to be yet. Whether it's going to be this side of the Nationals, or whether I'll be holding out and jumping on for the back end of the season.
And they got Shawnee Marine on. I understand, a good old childhood friend of mine.
Yeah,
Shawnee's a good hand. And,
good hand. He's doing a good job. Doing a good job. They're just down a few kilos, so I think they're just Hugh and Trent are trying to get used to that sailing around with a little bit less weight in the boat.
Yeah.
What's the crew weight difference between when you're there and you're not there?
Probably dropped about 10 kilos. So, and I mean, I guess we picked a bit of weight up getting Hugh on board this season compared to having Sarah on last year or Dan Links prior to that. So we got Eric's. That's Eric's on screen there.
Yeah, leading that pack, well and truly.
They are, and just offshot we got another pack just to windward of them. Oh, back on screen now actually. So the Imagine signage didn't get off the line terribly well. They're going to have a punt out to the east now and see if they can pick up a line inside these guys. Tight cross coming up here.
So Cunningham's still leading this stage.
Still very tight here, and we're going to see a couple more shifts before we get to the top mark. So. Here's our chasing pack.
So from experience, you get up here in the top end of Manly, and you're starting to sort of find a few different lines. It's a bit more flood of water. It can get a little bit tricky to pick. Cunningham's have done a good job there. They've picked up a good line. Now they're sort of getting back out in the middle of the track.
They're moving really nicely through the water there too, the Cunninghams, and they're just putting themselves between the top mark and the fleet now. They're going to get across the bows of those few boats that got east, just to try and consolidate on the position that they've got themselves in. It's quite nicely sailed.
Sail Racing's in the mix. They just went out of shot, but there's Cunningham's. I think you'll find they will lead around this top mark, which they'll be pretty happy.
Got SKE off to the right there, so they're just starting to get their groove on. I'm not sure where they ended up off the start, but once they get into more breeze, they're certainly going to give these front runners a nudge.
Ruffy's got an important cross coming up here. He's got Eric's and a big bunch of boats coming through him.
It's just
had to duck. He just had to duck Wilmot as well. So Wilmot's starting to get his wheels on, and he's coming through now.
Cunningham's is actually looking really good going through the water there. There's Moon and Yachts, Daniel Turner.
They are. Cunningham's are one of the heavier crews, so they might have a slight disadvantage downwind with everyone with their little rigs in. Probably not quite fresh enough up the top here to negate that weight difference.
Yeah, well, when you were saying that, like, not as windy up here, the crews have got to go through all the motions of changing gears and.
Yeah, we're at the top mark now.
Now, looking at the breeze as we're at the top mark, you're probably only down to 15 knots. And I remember when we were sort of heading up these top end of the course, we'd have the canoes up a little bit more, we'd even be stomping on the board, and maybe we're not as far up as where we'd normally finish on a club course, but there's definitely a lot of gear changes needed, and makes the skipper think. And I know that you're always on to me, Rob, about changing gears and making sure the boat's constantly quick at this top end of the course.
Yeah, it's imperative, isn't it? Does like the for the young kids that may be watching back. Cunningham's, I reckon, I just heard Paulie from off the boat here woohooing, so he'd just be happy that he's beaten his old skipper in Daniel Turner on the Moon and Yachts around the top mark.
Yeah, you like that. Get a photo.
Imagine Signage has made some nice moves up through that sort of tricky top end of this track as well to get up into third. It's very much in the mix, followed by SKE and Eric's, who've just gone off shot.
And Clint too, yeah, he's done a good job getting up here as well in fifth.
I think that's the best Bozo's done in the 2 seasons, hasn't he, the whole Clino? Bit of a cluster up the at the set with all the boats coming around together, but they're getting there.
Just off screen, we've got Moonan's taking the early drive back into the Dobroyd headland here, looking for a little bit more pressure to try and get around the bow of Cunningham's. Beautiful jibe off the rocks there. Oh, I put the mockers on you, sorry, Matty. It was a nice entry, just missed the exit. Cunningham's gone back on top of Moonan now. We'll see who's got the gauge. Great shot to pick up the angle differences in the gusts there. See, Moonan's got right away on the bricks.
Huge gain to Moonan Yachts there.
Yeah. Massive angle differences there too, you can see. Cunningham's just come up and out of that line that Moonan's been able to carry through all the way to the Bombora.
There's
Current club championship leaders.
Leaders.
Just came off shot.
Yeah, they really haven't had a drop at the moment, have they? Like the Sail Racing boys.
No.
So.
2 good results. It's got Modern Concept Constructions. They're carrying that slightly bigger little rig. Seems to be serving them okay so far in this race.
They're looking really nice, aren't they? Jared on the back. Just going in for a drive now. Here they go.
Very safe.
Yeah, good job.
Nicely done.
Just a little bit too close to the shore here. You need to get out again, and SKA look like they're just out far enough and in a good fresh stuff.
So yeah, imagine Signage has got down inside the Moonan there, and they're starting to put a bit of pressure on Ruffy now. They're going to get him in a challenging spot to be able to jibe when they get down to Grey Point here. Ruffy's just had to soak to get it below a 13 that's in the drink as well, so that's not going to help him.
Never helps.
Just wiped off a little bit of speed there. Certainly not in a position to jibe now, looking at that shot.
Oh, Paulie and the Cunningham's out in the middle there. They're on a screamer. Look at him. He's off.
Just got word in from Wargie, Adam Rollinson. The fluid 13-foot skiff has a broken rudder, unfortunately.
Ah.
Bad luck for them.
SKE going in for the jibe here.
It's a bit slow.
Oh, they're a bit loose there. Nicely saved. Maybe. Yeah. Not the prettiest, but it was successful.
Never in doubt.
Yeah. Now, Murners managed to get up in front of the Imagine signage here. Guess what happened there, whether the Imagine had a bit of a moment or if Moonan's managed to get on the front of a pup above them and soak down inside.
Some pretty hot ones, mate. I just had to step on the gas. I had fluid building right up the back door of the camera boat. So
I'm in the NCC by the look of it.
Oh, Cunninghams are back in front there.
They've taken that one through the middle, haven't they? Absolutely smoking. This is going to be very...
I told you.
Ruffy's just going to cross him.
He is on an absolute screamer down there. Those guys that went a bit further out in the middle of the track, they were just absolutely honking down the middle.
Cunningham's in for the jibe. Nice safe one there from Mike.
great job from him. You got Red Pumps and Eric Storage, like pretty hot racing here.
Jesus, snakes and ladders at the front of this pack. Awesome racing.
And just good positioning there by Ruffy and the Cunninghams, you know, like they just let Nathan go a little bit early. They could see the sort of jibe angle. Ruffy's gone back inside, just covering him off nicely, set himself up for the second work. So good skills there by the boys on Moonan and Cunningham.
Happy to go one in there, the Moonan, just to soak down to this mark, and they've just defended that front position nicely.
Cunningham's just went a bit too far there on that last job.
So Moonan's jumped up one spot. Imagine Signage. G'day, Scotty. I know you watch everything that we do. Great sponsor. Cunningham's third, Red Pump's fourth, Eric Storage, great job. Fifth, SKE Electrical from Belmont, well done, young Banjo.
MCC coming in very tight on this mark now. Jackson's got some work cut out for him.
Got a spinnaker shoot on that one,
yeah,
mate.
Got about that. And the Army's made a good comeback here. They've just tagged onto the back of this front pack. Picked up a couple of spots down that run.
And there's Sail Racing.
And that rounds out our current top 10. All very tight.
The hot and cold Sutec boys back here. There's a car racing on late last night. Is that their excuse?
I'm not sure. They look like they've got their normal crew on today.
Yep. And Outback Marine, Georgia, Clancy. The young crew of Altus Consulting. Kenny Walker and who was up the bow on that one? It was Rob Gruder.
Yeah, I think Ed normally does the bow on that. I'm not sure if he's on there today.
Mighty Fireball.
Made it.
Great sponsor.
Made it down there safely in one. They'll be happy with that. You got the Nozomi coming in after them, which is the there's two brothers there between the Fireball and the Nozomi. Downey brothers.
Oh,
that's
that
not
doesn't
very
look
good.
No.
Okay.
That was a spectacular spill, and here we go again.
We're just off to the right. We just missed another one from Brand Sense. You can see the yellow spinnaker in the water
it is,
now.
I think.
Oh, no sense, sorry. Well, they're going to have to work pretty hard to get out of there before they end up in the moorings.
It's definitely a crew's fault, that one.
They all were, weren't they, Doz?
Every time, I keep telling you.
No, we'll get up and see what's going on at the front of this pack, because it's a pretty tight race, and we'll see if we can pick up a couple of 13s as they come down their first run as well, to see what the state of play is with their race. It's got I'm in Imagine signage there. I can't pick up who that third boat is in between them.
It's not Typhoon. I haven't seen the bendy palm tree.
No,
Of,
might be the Cunninghams actually. They're still well and truly in the mix. Jeez, this looks like fun here now, boys. Certainly getting a bit of FOMO.
We used to love this stuff, didn't we, boys?
Yep.
This used to be our forte.
Moonan's still leading the race by the looks of things.
Look like they may have extended a little, if anything, as well.
Yeah, Baz was quite adamant about the positional change in that boat, and you could see the difference straight away. It was definitely the right thing to do.
Yeah, look, I think the weight distribution's better, and I don't want to take anything away from Simon, but I've got to say, Matty's probably the best boundary going on any one of these things at the moment.
Yeah, well, Matty reached out to me after, obviously it happened after training one day, and I just sort of said to him, mate, it's, you know, because he also does the sheet on the 18s, and it's two completely different, you know, trimming a 16 versus trimming an 18 is completely different. And I said, you know, like a brilliant forward end in these, and Simon, you know, like he 49er background, you know, the forward end works the main uphill, like it's, you know, as you said, like Matt's a great forward end. He's got the world's biggest mitts to grab handfuls of that chute.
They just look a bit bound up here, SK. I don't know what they're doing here. They're either got an issue or they just don't look too quick through the water here.
Sailing in a bit more lump than they're probably used to as well, so
maybe just need to go outboard a bit on the jib and shoot a bit harder, or just crank a bit of... They're obviously inside out on the main. Maybe that's time to start to ease a bit of bang off and let it rip a bit. But yeah, they just look a bit bound up. He's shooting well off centre line, and yeah.
No, I think it looks like they've got a problem there.
So
Yeah,
just word in from the club, Typhoon and Employment Hero are back on the deck. So obviously something terminal for the day.
A lot of twist on that red pump. Look at that.
Just on screen now, we got Imagine signage has just crossed Moonan, and that's the snakes and ladders on this track, and the opportunities that you get when you get up towards the Bombora. Trying to pick your spot from the centre of the course back into Dobroyd Point. Wouldn't surprise me to see Moonan cross it again after the next one.
There.
Yep.
What's that, sir? Yeah, that's what I want. Yeah, thanks. And just behind
There's the 13s in the background with, who's that leading? Harkin
Harkin leading.
with the Kobe on.
Yeah, we got the Cybertech, and it looks like the Sail Media boat's probably second. They're going to cross jives with the Cybertech coming up here. This will be tight. Just see them in the back of the shot there. Harkin with a comfortable lead. Cybertech's come back on top of the Sail Media.
Oh God!
Not what was that? It's like,
Big bloody dip on Eric's storage there behind me.
hot ride down there for the 13s. Back on shot now with the Botany. Alright, there's the Ebix, so they're probably a little bit back from where they'd be used to. The Ebix and the Bartley, two very good boat handling crews in the 13s as well. So they'll be looking to get themselves back into this race quick smart.
Spread out quite a bit already, Robbie, the 13s, so...
Yep. Not sure what Eric's was doing there. There was a big dial up. Whether they've done a penalty turn, I don't think it was a duck.
Well, there was a big port and starboard there with Amy and Eric, so just didn't quite see them or...
Taking their medicine?
Yeah, yeah. Not what you want to be doing at any time during the race.
Back on with the Amy here now, starting to work their way through the fleet a little bit more.
Did you actually get to do any sailing with you before you damaged yourself, or was it just the come along, see we all like each other, and then that was it?
Well, the personalities fit. We had one extremely cold sail midwinter because Hugh was pretty keen to get out for a sail, and had a couple of runs, and Trent and I decided that we'd seen enough. Hugh was going to be good for the season, and we did not want to go out sailing again in winter. So,
unlike you, Rob, you're normally the instigator of training back in the day.
Oh, I was, but maybe on a day like today, not in a 25 knot westerly in the middle of winter at 8 o'clock in the morning. So back on shot here, we got Moonan coming up the Dobroyd shore. Cunningham's below them, and just off to the left, we've got Imagine Signage has taken a bit more of an easterly path. So I'm liking where Moonan's sitting right now. I think Imagine Signage coming back, looking for a bit of east, but I don't think they've quite found it yet. When it comes back underneath the Imagine Signage. Looking to get into this Dobroyd shore early, trying to get a lift back off to get into the centre of the course.
Get it down. Stay on the next one.
They'll be really close at the top here with Moon and Imagine Signage. Ruffy's coming back on port. I feel like
He's just off screen now.
Imagine Signage has his measure here on starboard rights. So we'll see if he extends here or he stamps one on his nose.
Cross coming up here.
Tight cross.
So Nathan happy to let the Moonan go there to try and get into this lift off the Dobroyd shore. He has actually come out a little bit low, but he should start to wind up as he gets into this next line. And just off to the right, we've still got Cunningham's hanging in. They're certainly showing some good speed upwind. Them there, Cunningham's in shot. You see a few of the Flying 11s sailing home now after their second race, so hopefully they'll be getting out of the way of these 16s. These 16 showed the same courtesy while the 11s were racing.
Moonan back in the lead there.
There'll be boat length in it at the top.
Imagine Signage looks like they're just getting through the water slightly better than the Moonin there. I thought the Moonin was in a spot where they might have been able to drive down over the top of them after that tack, but don't think they're going to get into a leap out position. But they're certainly getting some nice gauge off the Moonin. Ruffy will be quite happy to hold him right out to the lay line here. Don't think the Imagine Signage is in a position to tack and cross from where they are.
No. He's got to wait his turn.
He's had a go.
He's just got to get a bit more twist on him there.
Great battle.
Seen both Nathan and Daniel go forward, open the bags and do a couple of other things.
Just
Did you take some notes, Dos?
Just a little 1%ers.
Yeah.
Watch out behind you.
Looks like they've got an issue now, and
Cunningham's, for the viewers at home, look like they're heading home. Don't know what the issue is there, but
Ruffy's
very
just dropped
disappointing for
off the Imagine Signage, which I'm surprised. I would have tried to stick with him, and
Modern Concept Construction going around in third.
So they're third now. Cunningham's is apparently out.
They're still heading towards Manly. The Fluid building.
Fluid up to fourth.
Clint's having a good day. Notice he's got Norths on his.
Yeah,
on
he's
his
had
road.
Norths for a few years. We don't talk about
No, I was
that,
just going to
that
say
relationship.
we might not mention any more of that.
I think they'll certainly be happy with where they're sitting because Phil was quite happy with an 8th last week. So
Yeah, I spoke to Phil last night, obviously, when he was waiting to go out with you. He thought you blokes left, so he made me buy him a beer. And then he ran off. It was like, but he was saying he's very happy with the new.
He's done well to get back in the mix here. Treno, he's never one to give up, and done a few seasons with old Treno, and he's a really good shoot hand and fights till the end.
just no fuss.
No, you've had the pleasure of sailing with him too, Robbie.
Absolutely. Oh, there's my young bloke Ash just trying to get out of his way. Done him a favour there. Back on Imagine Signage there. Still
Moonin.
Yeah, they're still splitting these two, so as we come around we're going to get, Moonin's in a beautiful line there. As we saw down that first run, I think there's a significantly better line of pressure running down the middle of the track, so
Come on, Marine, get it on. There he's out. Good job. It's a great looking boat, the Ivy.
it is. It's come up very nicely.
It's won a couple of nationals.
Another one's won a couple of states.
Oh, Joe won half a nationals.
Different boat.
Don't know that bloke.
Great battle again between these two. Pretty much a carbon copy of the first run. Just a couple of knots more breeze now.
What we might do next time around, we might get a time on the difference between Modern Concept, how far they're behind with that slightly bigger little rig, and see what the time difference is.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to be hurting them today. I know we did see them go backwards a long way in the Port Jackson Championship. What I hadn't realised was that they did wipe out on a yacht and damage the bit of gear, so that certainly cost them a fair bit coming back up that long work a couple of weeks ago. Back on shot with our leaders, looks like Imagine has definitely got over the top of and is sitting in the breeze of the Moonin now, so their option is going to be to try and drive up and around the back of them from here. Very deep angles coming down this run. a little bit more north in the breeze. These guys, just to give you an idea, these guys have jibed on the Bombora and they look like they're going to get pretty close to this bottom mark in one.
I reckon they got a couple in them, Robbie.
I think they will, but certainly, certainly a hot ride.
I would be heating it up, putting the pressure on Wilmot, make him drive early and try and get him at the bottom.
Just off shot for those following the 13s. We've got Harkin still maintaining their lead, I believe. Oh, no, it actually looks like they've had a little swim. We've got Cybertech and Sal Media in front of the Harkin.
Ruffy's in actually a good spot there. He's in actually a controlling position, so...
Yeah, I think he just got a nice line inside from that drone shot previously. It didn't look like he was going to be able to get down and get this depth and gauge off Nathan, but...
Looks like he's got a bit of a different looking chute, maybe wider shoulders, and just seems to have a bit more power downwind.
Beautiful shot there.
What a cracking day.
Great shot. Just launched these guys. Absolutely, both boats are absolutely sending it to try and get the advantage coming into this bottom mark.
Yeah. This is the cat and mouse game at this bottom mark. Who's going to drive first? Ruffy can just hold him out here. He's almost gone too far there, Nate.
He's getting around Ruffy's bow now, though, isn't he?
He's gone. Like he's over.
He is deep there.
He's really
and
deep.
he's going to make him. Ruffy's going to try and make him drive back here, I think.
That's big play, big play, big play. Ooh.
I reckon I'd be jibe dropping and two sailing it from there, just about. That's what they're
that's
doing.
the risk you take, Wilmot, when you're coming back on port doing that.
Great tactical racing there from the Moonin.
We did that once to the Brydens.
We did. Didn't end pretty for the Brydens. They were not happy.
Yeah, well, just had to hold him out there and he did it.
Imagine signage got a bit on there.
No, got a bit loose coming into that jibe. Gonna have to throw it, boys.
Simon must have thought he was on the 18 there.
Wow,
Looked like coming in off the wing. Good save.
Well, imagine
he looked like he was in all sorts there. He's doing his turns, which is the right thing to have done.
Still got a bear away to do to get below this mark. That's a big manoeuvre. Well, he's going to double jibe it.
Good to see penalties being done.
Yeah, you don't see that too often, especially in the 18s.
Tell you what, in this way to breeze, that was both some pretty amazing boat handling from both of those crews there. And what that's done, having the Imagine signage do a penalty turns, brought MCC right back into the mix. Fluid with the drop, and Imey just trying to tag back onto the back of these front three now, trying to make it a bit more of a race.
I reckon they can get up in the top 3 or 4 there. The
Fluid's got his halyard around the top of his main.
Yeah, Berkey,
oh,
what are you doing?
Hey, that's swim it. They got another run, or can they just untie?
They got another run to go. Imey around the mark safely.
Looks like
nice job, Shawnee.
Got to either chuck it.
The red pumps is coming in a bit hot. We got a floating jungle gym on their right. It's just stay on them, guys. A little bit loose.
Big rig just managed to swing that one down.
Just swung that one down.
Oh, Jay's not the biggest swinger.
Eric's worth watching here. This is a tricky manoeuvre.
Oh.
Nice work, Jimmy, getting out of the way there.
Old Scotty Cotton putting his crew in there.
Put the bowman under all sorts of pressure there.
I've never done that, I can assure you.
Not every day.
It just shows you had good faith in you, Rob.
Yeah.
You know.
Our current club championship leader.
They're just chipping away, these guys.
Yeah.
You know, these probably aren't their desired conditions, the old sail racing guys, but they've just got to hang in there in these days. And, you know, hopefully they get a few days that are more suited to their conditions. But you know, they just need to
Harry
try.
West's first time in the boat. Like he's been overseas for since December last year. Hasn't
He's pretty safe though. If you're going to have someone on for a sandy day like today, he's one of the few fill-ins that you'd be pretty comfortable having.
Yeah.
Here's the Sea-Tech slowly climbing their way back up.
They are just chipping away. Oh, that floating jungle gym's causing all sorts in the background there.
Perfect spot.
Oh God.
Who was that? Botany? Put them down. Can't see who that is.
Looks like Botany Access.
Yep.
Chris and the boys will be happy with that.
Outback Marine around next.
Pressure on Alana there, trying to get in.
I think
Have the
Kamikaze's going to come in
through
from
on the
behind.
inside. Yeah, I think the fire stopping's probably going to get inside as well now. Jamie's got that one down and away tidy. Nice work.
All right, well, we might venture on back uptown.
Where's this guy? Sorry, mate.
So it's the Bartley construction to the right of screen. I'm not sure who it is to the left.
Oh, Barty is a great bloke.
Yeah, Fireball and Bartley.
Yes.
Two young crews come through our pathway classes. It's great to see.
And the black chute, I think it's that turtle smugglers from Middle Harbour by memory. They have a black chute.
It's a great shot. Give you an idea of how this breeze is increasing now. This last run is going to be hot. Ivy on screen just continuing to chip away there. They're off to leeward of our race leaders at the moment. They're taking a bit more of an easterly track. Probably down a little there. Maybe looking for a tack back into the bombies. Not too far off.
In the background.
That's our race lead still.
Is what we believe is second place on screen, which it is.
So Jimmy, a lot of these guys, you know, they've been around a little while. They're probably just trying to get themselves ready for the Nationals, which mustn't be too far away.
We've got States first. States coming up next weekend.
States at Drummoyne next weekend.
Yep. And then followed by the second round at Belmont 2 weeks after that. So probably, I mean, the preparation doing this racing is great conditions for St George. Maybe a little bit less lump than they'll see, but for Drummoyne at Belmont, not so much. Maybe the top half of our track will replicate it. So it's the Plonk 13. These guys are traditionally pretty strong in breeze. They look like they're a little bit back in the pack today. So they're probably back in 7th or 8th at the moment. We're a fair way off our race lead at the moment in the 13s.
They're working hard there. They got swinging hard, and they're still easing a lot of main. They look very underweight.
Yep. And they're actually not. I think they're pretty close still on weight for the 13s. There's just a lot of breeze.
Yeah.
Probably wouldn't kill them to ease a bit of bang there.
Work their hard up.
Mooning back on shot, sailing really nicely now. Really got into their groove here. Board pretty far up. That'll be their small board, a fair way up. Just got Matty bouncing down some of these waves. You can see he's got his head out of the boat now, looking at what's coming up the track, working a bit of head saw, working a bit of weight, little step forward, little bounce. Really nicely sailed. And Simo just quietly is doing a fantastic job keeping that boat flat too. It's a lot of the little 1%ers that you don't necessarily see that make these boats go quick, and when you've got a crew that's in synergy like this. certainly go a long way towards winning a race.
I don't know much about Simon, so he's stepped on for Gussie this year. Maybe tell us a bit about Simon. I don't know too much of him.
So Simon's come up through, I think most of his junior sailing was at Belmont. They certainly live up there. He's come through 29ers. I think he may have won a Youth Worlds, or certainly was very well placed up in the youths in the 29ers. Has come through 49er campaigns. Has been sailing 16s on and off for quite a few years. He did the bow with the Macon brothers up in Brisbane a few years back, and has been consistently in the fleet when he's been around and not campaigning other boats. So certainly a great racing background, and is fitting in well into a position that Gus held for a while with the Moonan guys. So they obviously had a good combination built there. But Simon is certainly building his way into that team very nicely. So back on shot with the Imagine signage there. Little bit of a messy tack coming out of that. Managed to get it back together now. Bretto looked like he may have just got a little bit tangled up on the exit of that one. So there's our difference in the race lead. You can see Moonan out to the east. Imagine signage is just lifting up inside them now.
The magic lift in the bombies is starting to do its thing again.
Yep. Now, what do you reckon, guys? I've got to say, from what I've seen, I think if these two come around the top mark together, Moonan's probably going to have a little advantage downwind, and it's only a very short work from the bottom to the finish on the next lap. So it will be interesting to see how this one plays out. But Imagine signage is just they're going to have to pull away to duck there, so they've pulled the Moonan a long way back from that penalty turn that they had to do at the bottom mark. Just got the Botany Scaffold 13 just to the right of our shot there. It's Bella and Sophie. They are a little bit back in the pack today. I can see, if we have a look up the track, I can see the 13s. We've got Cybertech leading from...
just there in the back of shot.
Yeah, just in the back of shot there. Cybertech with the blue chute leading from the Sail Media 13. Safety job there. Nice work, Kobe. We've been working on those ones on our Friday night training. Beautifully done. Now I assume these 13s. We didn't actually hang around to see. I'm assuming they're going to the bottom and up to the finish now. So these boys can hang on through the rough part of the centre. They'll be going all right. And so, what was the background with the sponsorship for the Sail Media 13, Jimmy?
Daz came up to me one arvo in the club and just sort of, he had a sponsor lined up and it sort of fell through, and they wanted a name for the boat, and rang good mate Scotty down at Imagine Signage and said, Scotty, get some signage made, stick it on this boat, so they've at least got a name on the boat.
Nice shot there of the Cybertech group ripping through. Certainly lovely to see the old Kilo anchor in the 13 fleet now as well. It's a nice thing you've done there, Jimmy.
Good to see it out and about. There it is there, the mighty little Sail Media 13.
Fluid on shot. So they're still sitting in fourth at the moment. Might be fifth actually. So we've got MCC. Imy's jumped up to fourth. They've just got through the fluid. We've got the Harkin 13 running down there, just out of shot now. They're sitting in third in the 13s. So that's our gap from third to fourth.
The leaders. Other way.
Get back on, panning around back onto our race leaders here.
Emergent signage.
And that red pump's red, just for our viewers, is not on the lead lap. They're a lap down or potentially going home here. Let's see if they go around the mark.
Emergent signage really did a number on Moonan there,
They have, haven't they? Geez, and from that penalty turn at the bottom mark, just got a nice little lift in the east there and straight around the outside of them. I mean, they're the opportunities that exist at the top end of this course. We get into a bit flatter water, a bit shiftier breeze. Gets very tricky. Certainly Nathan and Mel on the Imagine signage are no strangers to fluky and tricky breezes.
Tack good puff there, Ruff.
Yeah, they've just tacked right on the front of a really nice puff there.
Crack a bit of bang, ease it off, get it going.
Maybe slightly above the mark. They're going to be fetching to it. They'll be coming in fast here.
It's got a...
Tell you what, that's quite scary for the rest of the fleet, what Imagine signage has been able to do from the bottom to the top there. Beautiful set. Looks all, they make it look pretty casual. The good guys always make it look easy. Moonan just around the mark in the background there. Moonan taking the jive set, trying to get back to this shore, giving themselves a windward set, and they've got a little bit of a wobble on there though. Nice save. So now this will be interesting to see what the Moonan get down this shore, because the Imagine signage didn't look like they had a heap of pressure going across to the east there. So your Moonan going to be setting up for a jibe pretty soon. You can just off to our left, you can see the Imagine signage. We could see them off shot. See how these guys get through the jibe. A little bit down pressure here at the moment too. We're hoping to get a bit more as they come through the middle.
Imagine signage just jibe back. It is.
It's always a funny one at this top mark, isn't it, boys? Like, it sort of looks like there's sometimes breeze down in the bay here in Manly, but you know, you just get back out past quarantine and you just get a big header, and then you're out in the middle, and you know, I think it's advantage to Imagine signage there.
Yeah, they're going to work hard, the Moonan, but it's a pretty big deficit to close from here. I think the Imagine's already out into that main stream out in the middle. What a great shot there.
Just wondering whether they picked up a bit of weed or something on Moonan, because like third place Modern Concept is really closing gauge on them, which we'll just going to circle around here and jump on the back of Modern Concept just to give you an idea.
So there's our two race leaders. We come back again. We'll have Modern Concepts coming into shot shortly here. Beautiful. So this is our state championship winning boat and crew from last year, minus Tyler Dransfield that's jumped up onto the Red Pumps campaign this year. We've got Jared Smith driving this boat.
These guys win the Stakes last year.
Yep.
Yeah, good on them. They're doing a great job today, these guys.
Yeah, I just wonder if they've made any change to that, mate. It doesn't look like it's still got the same cuff. It's still, I think it is just a little bit bigger than the other small rigs in this fleet. So they seem to, whatever they've done with it, they certainly looks like they've got it a bit more dialed in now. Because I wouldn't say this is a downrange little red breeze.
There's still working up wind on the Pilates boat. Is Jeremy Sharp, the oldest bloke in the fleet, 73.
73? Wow. Pretty sure I've been selling these things at 73. Try and tag back onto our race lead now. Really no change to that deficit. These guys will just be sailing safely here. Nice comfy jive. They'll have one more to survive into the bottom, then it'll be a short work up to the finish.
To the top of the screen, Snapper,
Yeah,
young blokes.
we're following the 13s, and for anyone watching them, we've got the Cybertech group missed the finish line. They've tried to bear away back down to it and swum, so the Sail Media has come away with the win in the 13s.
I think we got a good young bloke steering that today, Chad Beatty.
Yeah, so, well, I know 50 years of skiff sailing experience on board, beating up on the kids, but I'm sure those two had a whole heap of fun.
Moment, mate, you know that. Good old Chadley.
Great shot here of the Imagine signage, just coming in for their last bottom mark rounding. We do have a powerboat sitting on this bottom mark right in the way.
You used to love that when coming down here, Rob.
Yeah. Moonan's come in for they've jibe set.
Just still about 150 metres off the bottom mark.
And you know what, these dial up there, a couple of tacks to go for the Imagine signage now. I think Moonan's just going to be happy to try and consolidate and come home with a second in this one. Certainly a keeper in this in the context of this championship.
Well, yeah, after the first two heats for these boys, everything's a keeper.
That's correct. Well, so Moonan's probably closed that gap up a little bit. I just don't know if they're going to have enough runway here to do any damage to the Imagine signage.
Come up to the front, see if you can get Imagine across the line.
There's
our finish just straight ahead.
Yeah, only just a short work up, does, but his Modern Concept Construction's coming away for third.
Again, I think these guys will be pretty happy with the third today.
They've done a great job.
We've got Imey and the Fluid Offshot are going to be battling out for fourth. I think Imey, if they can get down to this mark, are going to be comfortably around.
I think the placement of this finish line has caught a few of the Manly 13s out. You got Harkin coming back down as well, just there at top of screen.
Yeah, I'm not sure if they've actually made the bottom yet though. Don't know if the Cybertechs, have they crossed the line there? Yeah, they look to be through it. Do have a boat in the drink right on the line here, so they imagine it's just going to reach away.
And that's a win for Imagine Signage. Big Brady very happy, and he's Moonin in second.
Second place finish for the Moonin. So I'm probably disappointed not to get the win, but quite happy to bank a second in the context of the series.
Let's get back down to the mark.
It's MCC coming through under the drone shot there. They've also overlaid this mark, so they're reaching down to the finish. Don't think they have in any danger of losing any places though.
Harkin just finishing to the left of screen.
Yeah, so you're right there, Jimmy. They were they had just missed the finish and had to sail back down to it.
Third place for Modern Concept Construction. They'd be happy with that.
Yep.
Probably the freshest part of the course, right where the finish is here, isn't it?
Yeah. It's certainly challenge. It's going to be challenging for some of the crews towards the back end. Sail Racing and Eric's on shot there. I think they're going to be around 5th and 6th, maybe 6th and 7th.
Got Imey coming up next for a fourth for the finish.
Yeah,
That's a good
finishing
comeback
strong.
from those guys.
Nice and fast.
Trent could go around for another 4
I
laps.
tell you what, he would do another race. That's one thing we've never lacked is power in the back end of a race with Trent on board. He is an absolute weapon.
I'll get Chids to save that audio and I'll just insert my name in it from back in the day.
Get out the riding crop and ride Jimmy home.
Jimmy will be making up excuses for picked up a plastic bag or a bit of seaweed.
Always.
Fluid just come off shot there, safely home for 4th.
He's done a great job there, Clint.
He has. I think they'll be pretty happy with that. So it is a very hot fleet and not the easiest of days.
Plenty on, isn't there?
Is this first
There
of
is
our
plenty
girl
on.
skippers today?
Yep, Georgia Clancy coming into the bottom mark. She's left up a lot of work for Alana to do there.
Yep.
Red Pumps.
Red pumps.
Red Pumps coming home in 5th. Plenty on out here. They've got.
Who's done
that's-
on the?
Oh, yeah, so that is
there's
our
our
first female skipper, Zoe Dransfield.
Well done. Great
Well
effort.
done, Zoe.
Beautiful job.
Oh, that's not a great shot for Jimmy. 5 stopping's gone down somewhere towards the bottom mark there. Eric Storage just off shot coming home for 6th place. Followed by our current club championship leader in Sail Racing, coming home in 7th, which will actually be 6th in the Manly Club Championship, while Eric's place is taken out.
Yeah, there's the fire truck coming back out of the drink.
Yeah, I wonder if they'd made it around the mark or not.
There's a lot of carnage down here, isn't there? This end of the course.
I think tiredness creeps in. Breeze has definitely increased, as you said before, Doz. It's probably the windiest part on the whole harbour right here, right?
It is.
James
Yeah.
and Gemma Hopkins here, coming home in 4th in the 13s.
Good job again.
That is a good job. And they're certainly not the biggest crew, so they're doing well to get that boat
It's got big,
moving through the
big
water.
jibs on the 13s, aren't they?
They do, yeah.
The Sutek boys
just coming into shot here.
just
They've
getting
actually
in.
come back quite well. They've just chipped away all day, haven't they? Sort of didn't really notice them through a lot of the race, but I'd say they were maybe back in the teens, first time around the bottom mark.
Just getting jet blasted in the face all day, those skippers. It's one thing I don't miss.
You need the ski goggles on.
Yeah, needed them.
Is there next? We got there around the bottom mark. Bartley. Oh, they've left themselves with a bit of work to do to get through there. Kamikaze. That'll be the second Middle Harbour boat coming home in their club championship.
I lost track of SKE throughout the race. Did someone see where they ended up?
I reckon they might have broken a vang the way they were sailing. Had some sort of breakdown. Just got Outback Marine going off shot, but going across the line there. Lovely. Nice pickup, guys. They'll be happy with that. We've had quite a bit of carnage out here. There's a lot of boats in the drink. Quite a few getting towed home.
All right, well, I guess we might wrap up proceedings for today. Beautiful nor'easter here on Sydney Harbour, one that us three would have revelled in back in the day and enjoyed. Thank you very much for joining us, Doz. Really enjoyed finally getting you back out in the water for one way or the other.
Thank you,
Robbie,
Jimmy.
always a pleasure, mate. Never a chore with you.
Thanks for having me.
It's nice to get carried around for once, Bury. Otherwise, I'd be carrying you around for the day.
Idiot.
Or us, Robbie would be carrying him around. So it's nice to Shoesy on the other foot for a change.
No, well, so thanks to all the viewers for tuning in, and this has been a Sail Media production for the Manly 16-foot Skiff Club.